If you're moving to Boston, I know it can be scary. I moved to Boston 4 years ago. Man, time flies. I moved here for the PhD program at Harvard Medical.
You sure about that? You sure about that? That's why?
Well, actually, it wasn't really me. It was my then girlfriend, now wife, who was accepted to Harvard's medical PhD program. So I followed along and uprooted from Chicago, leaving my friends, my family, and totally changing my career, and moving to a city where I did not know one single person. Back then, all I knew about Boston was that it was cold, had really good sports teams, and Harvard was nearby. Yeah, that was really it. But have no fear, your favorite YouTuber is here, and I'm here to tell you why Boston is such a great city and you'll love it here, and it has a little bit of something for everyone. We're gonna break down everything from the sports to the politics and everything in between. This is about to be a juicy video, so make sure you subscribe and like, and let's get started. Now let's start off with why people move to Boston. I have a quote that I often say, people don't choose Boston, Boston chooses you. And what I mean when I say that is that people are coming here with aspirations. They're coming here for job opportunities or education. Boston is a place to improve yourself. It's an investment in yourself. That's why you see so many people coming here for work and for education. You don't really hear people saying, I want to move to Boston the same way they say, I want to make it in LA, or I want to go to New York City. It's not like that. Here, you're coming here with a purpose, and that is to better your future, and that's exactly what's going to happen when you come here. You're going to be surrounded by smart people, hardworking people, and the level for excellence is a lot higher than it is in other cities. The Boston jobs market is strong, and it pretty much always has been. As of May 2023, the Boston unemployment rate is only 2.1%.
Wow!
The only metro that beats Boston is Birmingham, Alabama. But Birmingham doesn't have as much to offer as Boston does, which will be explained more in this video. Yes, the barbecue and the college football teams are amazing, and I've actually had the chance to visit Birmingham and had a great time. And I still remember the barbecue sauce I've had there. However, your median income in Birmingham is $39,000.
With all due respect, what the f?
Here in Boston, $82,000 is the median income. Yes, of course, Boston has higher cost of living. But even though Birmingham has a low cost of living, you don't see people flocking and moving to Birmingham. In Boston, you have plenty of companies, industries, and opportunities that give high-paying salaries. So I know what the question is. So who are making these high salaries? I can break that down for you. It's not unheard of for a computer scientist, as in computer programmer, software engineer, to graduate undergrad making between $120,000 to $150,000 a year. Not bad for a 22-year-old. Another career that I work consistently with are attorneys. People who are just graduating law school and entering big law, they are usually making around $220,000 to start. Same with the folks who are in private equity, they're usually at $220,000 plus bonuses. For sales, it seems like the highest paying jobs are pharmaceutical sales and medical sales. Those people seem to make a lot of money as well. Then, of course, you have consultants and investment bankers who can make a wide range of money. So if you're watching this video and trying to figure out what to study in college, or if you're trying to make a career change, definitely take what I said into consideration and do your own due diligence. Next, I kind of touched this one earlier, education. The second, if not the biggest reason people move here is for education. We all know about the universities here, MIT and Harvard, but did you know there are 35 colleges and universities inside Boston, and also 64 colleges and universities within 30 miles of Boston City Center? If you didn't know that, definitely hit the like button. That's correct. About 150,000 students make up the population of Boston. And they're coming here to invest in themselves and their education, and will most likely find an amazing work opportunity here in Boston. The city has a great system of reaping what they sow, and it creates this cycle of excellence, which is why we see people with high-paying jobs and such low unemployment. Next, let's talk about safety.
Police say were shot at 57th and Payne in Washington.
Intent on killing, and they shoot and kill 4 men.
Come on, man. I'm finna hit.
Boulevard and 17th Avenue in San Francisco, we witnessed multiple shoplifting.
As many US cities see spikes in their violent crimes and murders, Boston is not in the same conversation. For example, let's take a look at homicide rates. Baltimore's homicide rate is 58 people per 100,000 people. Detroit is 48. DC, 30. Chicago, 26. Boston, though, 6. By the way, New York's homicide rate, can you guess it? It's actually 5. That's pretty interesting. Of course, every city has crime, including Boston. But to be honest, usually the #1 story when you wake up the next morning is about a house that caught on fire overnight. It's not about 2 or 3 shootings that occurred overnight like other cities. I'm just stating the truth. Boston is the big little city. Boston's population is about 700,000 people, and it's a very walkable city. You can get from the North End to the Back Bay in like 30 minutes. Less. And in my opinion, for a city, Boston can be seen as more serene and calm compared to other big cities, which sometimes feel like organized chaos at times. Now let's talk about location. I think location will play a vital role in why you're going to like Boston, and here's why. Boston is located right in the middle of New England, so you can have plenty of day trips or weekend trips everywhere. You can go to Portland, Maine, hiking in New Hampshire, rent a lake house in Vermont, go skiing in Vermont, Cape Cod, Nantucket, and the pristine beaches of Rhode Island. There's so much to do within 2.5-hour drive of Boston. And by the way, New York City is just a 4-hour drive, and Montreal is a 5-hour drive. Let's get back into talking about Boston. One of the reasons I like Boston is because of its distinct neighborhoods with its own personalities. Now, Boston only has 23 neighborhoods, which is a lot smaller compared to Chicago or New York. Here in Boston, you can easily just walk around, enjoy the architecture, the personality, and landscape of the neighborhoods themselves. From North End to the Back Bay, Seaport versus Beacon Hill, and the South End versus the Fenway. Everything is different, but they're all beautiful in their own way. And I don't mean that in a pitiful way. Awesome places to check out, especially when you have visitors. Probably different from other cities is how Boston is actually surrounded by other cities as well, such as Cambridge and Somerville. And within these cities, they do have their own squares as well, where you can go to socialize and explore the different areas as well. So Davis Square, Central Square, Assembly Square, all these places are very awesome places that you should check out. Seasons, we have all 4 of them, but let me tell you something. I truly believe there is not a better city for spring and fall than Boston. Let's start with spring. In spring, you're finally getting out of this rough winter. Starting in early April, daffodils start to pop up. Then in mid-April to May, it's the best time because that is when the magnolias and the cherry blossoms are actually blooming all through Boston, especially in the Back Bay and the Esplanade. It's honestly one of my favorite times of the year. May is when the tulips pop up, and June is when you see roses and lilacs. Awesome landscaping throughout Boston, and you'll see that on full display in the spring. Definitely come and visit during the spring. Now fast forward to the fall, and now you know New England is the place to be for fall. And when you see all those photos of all those trees that are different colors, oranges, browns, yellows, that's all in New England. Let's be real. So you'll be able to enjoy the cooler temps, the crisp air, the apple cider, as well as the witches in Salem, and of course, Patriot football. Also, for a city, Boston has a lot of green space. A lot. Boston is not a concrete jungle. In fact, it was designed so that you are no farther than a 10-minute walk to the nearest park. And some of the big parks are the Esplanade, the Boston Common, and then this intricate chain of parks known as the Emerald Necklace. And I spoke a lot about that in more detail in the Fenway video, so definitely check it out. But also don't forget about the other parks like the Rose Garden, as well as the Southwest Corridor that runs through the South End. Another thing you'll love about Boston is Marathon Monday, aka Patriots Day, aka a federal holiday here in Massachusetts. Not only is the Boston Marathon one of the top marathons in the United States, it's one of the top marathons in the entire world. You'll see some top athletes and Olympians running. It's definitely do your research of who's actually going to be here before going to the race, because you're really seeing some top talent year after year after year. People are off from work, participating, volunteering, or just rooting people on this day brings the whole city together. It's such a great vibe no matter what the weather is. There are a bunch of traditions that happen here. A few days before the race, daffodils get delivered in the back bay on everyone's doorstep. There's different events that happen before and after the race, and the Boston Red Sox actually play at 11:05 a.m. on Patriots Day. So this tradition goes all the way back to the 1960s. They were hosting games that early in an effort to make sure that everyone who went to the game had time to go back to Kenmore Square and watch the end of the race. I'll use this as a good segue into the sports. Another benefit of living in Boston are winning teams. Boston is well known for their high standards when it comes to performing in education and at work. So why would sports be any different?
Back to full. Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champion. Toss to White. He's in. Patriots win the Super Bowl. Brady has his fifth. What a comeback. Bruins have the Stanley Cup. It's possible. Anything's possible.
Making the playoffs is not anything to be that excited about. It's expected. It's championship or bust most of the times for each team every single year. Boston has the second most championships of any city in the United States. 40 championships. 40.
Featuring the word 40, but said in the Boston way.
40, bro. 40.
40. 6 Super Bowls, 7 Stanley Cups, 10 World Series, and 17 NBA rings. Only New York has more. But let me tell you something. New York has 2 teams for every single sport. So anyways, going to the games is a lot of fun, a lot of tradition, a lot of history, and great entertainment there. Definitely check it out. And in Boston, we're blessed that we have good sports pretty much all year round, thanks to everyone pretty much always making the playoffs. Let's get into my favorite part, the food. New England seafood is so fresh, and you'll have plenty of it around here in Boston. As you just start to walk around, you'll see the lobster rolls, fried clams, mussels, Wellfleet oysters, and of course, the amazing clam chowder. So what's the difference between New England clam chowder and Manhattan style clam chowder? Let me tell you why New England clam chowder is better. It includes milk or cream. What it doesn't include is tomatoes. Who puts tomatoes in clam chowder? So New England clam chowder over Manhattan style clam chowder, no doubt about it. Check out Sail Off if you want to have an awesome clam chowder. So of course you have lobster rolls that are famous here, but also don't forget about the Boston cream pie. The Boston cream pie was first served at the Parker House, and you can still go to the Parker House today and still try that Boston cream pie. And if you're here in the fall, make sure you grab some apple cider donuts. Next, we have an ocean. Yes, we're on the East Coast. We have the Atlantic Ocean. With that, we get awesome beaches. So you have Singing Beach, Wingachique Beach, Good Harbor Beach, located just a few minutes outside of Boston. And you can also go whale watching. Oh man. So think about everything I just mentioned on the list, including this. What other city is gonna give you all this opportunity, education, good sports, skiing, beaches, whale watching, all in one spot? Only Boston can. And guess what? Boston also has history. If you're a history buff, you're gonna love it here. If you're not a history buff, you're about to learn a lot and you're gonna love it here. Boston is pretty much where America began. Of course, you had the Tea Party, the first Thanksgiving in Plymouth, which is just a little bit south of the city. And then you have the Freedom Trail, basically a historic walking tour through the entire city. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned so much. And if you're moving to Boston, I hope this video got you excited to move to Boston. It's really a great place. You're gonna have an amazing experience. So make sure you like and subscribe to this video for more. Oh, I forgot to talk about politics. So politics in Boston. A lot of people move based on politics now, or at least make choices based on the politics of a city or a state. So I think it's kind of important to bring that up. I do bring it up in my other video, which is the reasons why you're not going to like Boston. So definitely check that out. But I'm saying the exact same thing in both videos, so there's no bias here. Boston is a left-leaning city, so that might be a pro or a con to you. So I'm not saying it's good or bad. People do tend to enjoy cities where they align more with the politics of the city. That's basically all I'm gonna say about politics. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you subscribe. There's a lot of time and effort that go into making these videos. I have so much more coming up, so make sure you hit subscribe. And as always, thanks again for watching the video. I will see you on the next video, or click another video from me. See ya.